fighting a war here and they're losing. The sheer numbers of people succumbing to the coronavirus is overwhelming every hospital in northern Italy. The staff are working flat out trying to keep these people from deteriorating further. They're trying to stop them from dying. This isn't an intensive care unit, it's an emergency ward. The ICU is full. People have only just arrived here and they're in terrible shape. This is an absolute constant. This killer pandemic is virtually out of control. The patients are literally gasping for air. The plastic bubbles the staff struggle to communicate through attempt to equalise the air pressure in the lungs. Nobody expected this. Nobody thought they'd be treating so many so quickly. And it's not like flu. It is chronic pneumonia, and it is killing hundreds each day.
There are now 15 patients.
The doctors say they've seen nothing like it before and are warning other countries, especially the United Kingdom, that they will see it as well.
People have keep describing this as like flu. It's worse than that, no?
No, it's totally another thing. I think it's most pneumonia than flu. Mm-hmm. Because most people get pneumonia. And as I said before, it's a very severe pneumonia, and so it's a massive strength for every health system, because we see every day 50 to 60 patients who come to our emergency department with pneumonia, and most of them are so severe they need very high FiO2 of oxygen, and so we have to reorganize our emergency room and our hospital in 3 levels of intensity, as you saw.
This is the main hospital in Bergamo, in Lombardy province. It's one of the most advanced hospitals in Europe. But it's the most hard-hit of all the hospitals in Italy. The town is the centre of the epidemic here. This isn't a ward, this is a waiting room. Wherever you go, people are on gurneys, in corridors, in meeting rooms, they're everywhere. All the medical staff urge other nations to see what's happening and lock their nations down right now or face this.
What I would suggest is just shut down to stop all the outbreak and not come in this kind of situation that is very, very difficult to manage.
Can I ask you personally what it's been like?
I never felt so stressed in my life. I'm an intensivist, and I'm quite used to, intense moment and choices, and people are critical and will die without any, treatment, and you make the difference. But when you arrive at this point, you realize that you are not enough, and maybe we are 100 anesthetists here. We are doing our best, but maybe it's not enough.
We are performing the test for the nasal swab to detect coronavirus.
The problem facing health services across the world is that when the infection curve goes up, it rockets. And all the resources, all the testing, all the supplies are used up instantly. Multiple hospitals all at once. What's staggering is that Italy is doing a lot of testing. Thousands upon thousands are being tested. So far, about 4,000, the numbers keep changing, have actually completely recovered. The crucial point is that about the same number are dying. They're sort of neck and neck. And it seems you either live and recover or you die. Something nobody expected. Bergamo wanted us to see this to show what a catastrophic emergency nobody has experienced before looks like. Here they're calling it the apocalypse. Room at the morgue, but they haven't run out of respect for the dead at Cremona Hospital. The next batch of the lost waiting for cremation are laid out in the hospital chapel before collection. Their families couldn't even say goodbye. They are all in quarantine. It's a recurring theme now. Everyone dies alone. They came from here, the hospital's intensive care unit, which is on the brink of collapse. This is what it looks like when the virus overwhelms, and here in Lombardy, it's overwhelming. These patients are critically ill. In all probability, they won't make it. The staff have no cure available to them. They're just trying to keep them alive. Every 13 to 16 hours, they turn the patients over to relieve the pressure on the lungs. Without doubt, she wouldn't survive without constant attention. The patients are highly contagious. Where possible, they're observed from a distance, but most of the time, that isn't possible. Nobody takes any risks. They wash and sanitize constantly. Gloves, masks and protective clothes are regularly changed. In truth, these men and women are exhausted. The system is at breaking point, and they are as well. But they keep going. They aren't the front line in this war. They are the only line.
It's a very dangerous, is a disaster, is a tsunami. And we are here 12 hours a day. Only we are go to home for a few hours and come back here for the work, because we are here for the patients.
The first, perhaps only bit of good news for the teams here is this man. We couldn't approach him. He's still too weak, but he waved. He is recovering. After 2 weeks, he is getting better. In that 2 weeks, though, not one other person on this ward improved, or worse, they died.
What's really interesting here is that now they've had to extend the intensive care unit, but now it is absolutely full. It's absolutely full in every hospital in Lombardy. They're hoping that some can be taken away. And the other really frightening development is that the patients are getting much, much younger because they are not being treated in hospital because there's no room for them. That is a big, big change, because the virus has mainly affected the older age groups. Now they're talking about people in their 30s and 40s. That hasn't been seen anywhere so far.
The only illnesses being treated in Cremona Hospital now are linked to the coronavirus, and it's spreading.
We opened this side of the department to intensive care only yesterday, and today it's already full.
Oh, so in one day it's full?
In one day, less than one day, yes.
Emanuela Catenacci is a neurosurgeon normally. Now she's working in intensive care. She asked to send a message to the world. Lockdown.
If you can see what's happened in other country or in other part of your country and wait to do something, I think now it's not more an option. Maybe at the beginning we didn't know exactly what would be happen, but now we know what happened. It's you don't think that it is happening here and it can't happen everywhere else.
It will.
Because it will, if you don't do anything to stop it.
The casualties of a war against an invisible enemy. Footage shot inside Oliopo Hospital in Cremona, Italy on Thursday shows the strain at the front line of the battle. A hospital normally containing 50 beds now housing 120. And that's still not enough. The sound of ventilators feeding oxygen into lungs are heard as patients lie immobile on their beds. Some are able to sit up and signal to nursing staff behind masks. Others lie on their fronts connected to machines, unable to breathe any other way. Italy recorded the largest ever one-day increase in coronavirus deaths on Wednesday, as the total rose by 475 to almost 3,000. It is expected to surpass China's own death count if the situation remains unchanged. With cases still rising, the government is considering further restrictions on the limited amount of outdoor movement currently permitted.